Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Whew, I hope you're doing well. Let's see what we got. Spirit, what do you got for us? Collective energy, please. Collective energy, spirit, please. Collective energy, spirit. What? Whoa, okay. Well, that one just hopped right on out of there. I guess the Lovers has something to say. Challenged by Six of Swords in the upright. Releasing the baggage, moving on to calmer waters. Leaving it behind. All aboard! In the subconscious, you've got the Five of Swords in the reverse. And you've also got the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So somebody who's obsessed with wealth and status, they're materialistic and stubborn and greedy. They're having revenge remorse. Maybe they're in regret because they didn't get a love relationship. They wish to reconcile. They wish to reconcile with the lovers that they were in competition with. In the recent past, we've got the Ten of Pentacles in the reversed. Fleeting success. Lack of stability. Loss. Intentions and expectations. We've got the Moon, so there's fear and anxiety. You know, in my life, my first love was very abusive, physically, mentally, and all of that. For 3 years, I got the crap kicked out of me. And I had to leave the state because I nearly died. So all my life I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I got that relationship out of the way so early, right? So I didn't have to experience that kind of thing in my later years. And this kind of thing I'm glad for too, like poverty, a life of lack. I'm glad that I was able to experience that and to work with that first. You know, because it's so much easier to come into a reward than it is to lose it. And somebody's losing it. It was false success. And they're in fear and anxiety. We've got the Empress reversed. Somebody's overwhelmed and they're feeling anxious. They don't know what to do. They're codependent. The lens that's being looked through is the Nine of Wands reversed. They could be suffering paranoia. They're exhausted. Overwhelmed and on edge. In the environment, We've got the Seven of Pentacles in the upright. Hard work with a long-term view of sustainable results. Persevering through those slow-moving areas where you don't see much growth. Using forethought to see what those rewards will be in the future and maintaining that path, that effort. Hopes and fears. Nine of Swords in the upright. Somebody's suffering a trauma. And the outcome? Two of Pentacles in the upright. Negotiations. Multiple priorities. Juggling. Time management. On the bottom of the deck, we've got Justice. And a Three of Cups. Celebration. In my experiences, I'm beginning to think that narcissists, well, first of all, they have a spirit attachment, and I'm beginning to wonder if the actual person exists, because they all have the same characteristics, the same qualities, the same mannerisms, the same thought processes and actions in the world, and they have the same expectations of others. So it's like it's the same entity, attachment. And I don't know that the actual person exists. And it's a parasite. It's a mind-eating parasite. And it feasts on the energy of the body. And they really like potent energies. Like, there's some people out there that are so freaking potent, but they don't have the knowledge, the desire to research, or the drive to move against that which is moving against them. It's easier to just roll with it. And there are a lot of them in this world. And I had been, thinking like maybe all of them were taken over, It's like that body snatcher crap. It's the spirit attachment. It's the same. It's this on every person. It looks a little bit different because the memories of the individual, there's a childhood and all that, are different, but the mannerisms are the same. And it strikes me as odd that they were really against ivermectin, because ivermectin is a parasitic paralyzer. It will paralyze parasites. And it's just wild to me how they were so adamantly against the use of an anti-parasitic. And I'm wondering if these spirits, these attachments, aren't an actual parasitic attachment within the brain that is taking over that field of consciousness and awareness and causing a specific mannerism in the world. And they were so adamantly against ivermectin. I'm thinking that if everybody were to take ivermectin, it might just take out this Diablo spirit attachment. Why else would they be so against it? Unless, of course, they were trying to cover up the fact that it kills off cancer, and that cancer is actually a parasite. Disconnect. So somebody's being disconnected from these lovers. They're challenged because the lovers are moving on to calmer waters. Prophecy. Somebody who's greedy, materialistic, and stubborn. They were disconnected, and they have a desire to forgive, to reconcile. They're in regret. They want to make amends. Alrighty, well, I guess all these have to come out. So they want to make amends. There's religion here. And there's no love. They don't remember, they didn't remember this bloodline. They're not seen as important. And there's no love. It could be that they're no longer going to be remembered. It could be that they get eliminated from the book of life. Much like that child was wiped out of memory. The memory books, the history books. Those who have no love in them, who did that, they're not important. This religious person, whoever this is, they're being disconnected. They're corrupt. They're greedy. They're materialistic and stubborn. They want to reconcile. There's a Ten of Pentacles reversed. So there's misfortune, loss, theft, fleeting success. There could be a visitation. Somebody's in fear and anxiety. The moon here. They're stuck in an illusion. They have no money. They're getting visited by somebody. Home. They're in fear and anxiety regarding a home. They've lost. Their Ten of Pentacles is in reverse. They're in fear and anxiety regarding a home. They're getting a visitation. They could be this Empress reversed. Selfish, greedy, unfocused, unfaithful, codependent. We got hospitality here. They're overwhelmed. Are they having to be hospitable to somebody and they're impatient? They're impatient by pretending to be an empress. They're impatient. They're like, I'm done acknowledging you. I want this to be done. And yeah, she's not happy. Whoever this religious person is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We got a Nine of Wands reversed. Somebody is on edge. They're overwhelmed, paranoid, exhausted from all the labor that they've been doing. They're exhausted. We got a Seven of Pentacles in the environment. Do nothing. Nine of Swords, hopes and fears. Somebody's in hopeless trauma, nightmare. Somebody's in a nightmare. Somebody's in a nightmare over this competition. And they're in a Two of Pentacles. They're trying to balance priorities, time management, creativity. Player. This player has been acting like a leader. This wise guy is acting like they're a service member. They're getting the message about a body. There's a promise made to those who self-care. Those who have learned and met the challenges of this previous cycle will be the hardships that they had to face. They did it conscientiously, and they've learned, and they will be seated on this throne. They gained, they did the work, they learned. And some people just played around. They just horseplayed. They played at being a sovereign being. It's like, oh, I'm a sovereign being. You better serve me, servant. And all the while, the wealth and the good life and the addictions. Look at this. They have a limited perception. They're addicted. They're entertaining themselves off on your service. They're vain. They're puppet masters. They play both sides, the light and the dark. They're like, oh God, I worship you. But then they're like, oh Satan, we can overthrow God. I don't know. They're just a bunch of actors, and they say whatever it is they need to say to get whatever it is they need to get. It's all a game to them. There's no loyalty to anybody, not even to themselves. Not even to life. No loyalty to life. Child, they're not innocent. They're being disconnected. Those people who are not innocent are being disconnected from these love unions. They're not able to take part in the love unions of this upcoming cycle. Those who are not innocent. It is prophesied that they would be cut off. These lovers are moving on to calmer waters. Somebody's thinking, they have expectations. They're all up in their thoughts. They have expectations. It was prophesied that these lovers would be moving on. They're innocent. Somebody's all up in their thoughts about this. They know you're moving on. They're thinking about you. Look. They're thinking about you because they know that you have expectations of moving on. It was prophesied. You're moving on to calmer waters. And this person doesn't want to let you go. They're like a leech. They're like a freaking parasite. They're like, no, my blood supply. I don't know. My energy supply, whatever, man. My happiness supply. Whatever this religious person thought that you were to them. This innocent yumminess that they were gobbling up. So they're greedy, they're obsessed with wealth and status, they're stubborn, they're corrupt, and they want to reconcile. It's like, oh, please forgive me. I'm sorry that I, tried to destroy you. They're not important. They didn't remember you. They buried you and they wanted you gone. They shit all over love. They don't care about love. They only care about status, pathways, and money. They're hypocrites. They don't have any love of God. They have love of money, and they work the shadow side to get it. They don't wait on God's reward. They work with the shadow side to get reward early, and then they make the light bearer pay the price. Because somehow they feel you owe it to them. They didn't feel that God was giving them their reward soon enough, so they took it from you, knowing that you had it coming to you, and they've been found out. They've been found out. They took your love from you, and then they told the higher ups that you had no love in you. They're going on a journey. They took your love from you. They put you in misery, and then they told God or whoever that this religious person talks to that you had no love in you. They tried their hardest to destroy you and to strip it out of you, and then they tried to say you never had it in you. They're going to experience a loss, a misfortune. They're getting a visitation. They're getting a visitation from a high honor person. Or they already have in the recent past, and they lost all their pentacles. They got all their pentacles taken away. Friction, discord, arguments. The moon, fear and anxiety about the home. They're losing their home. They're worried about their home. There's drama in the home. Something going on in the family room. They're worried about something going on in the family room. They're in fear and anxiety about something that has been going on in the family room, at the home. They're trying to hide it. They're getting a visitation by high honor folk, and they're going to suffer a misfortune. There is an Empress here in the reverse, overwhelmed, codependent, anxiety, selfish, impatient. She's not focusing right now if she had that ability. There's a change here. They're struggling. They're overwhelmed and on edge about the work that they've been doing. They're paranoid. They're paranoid about the work that they've been doing. On the main female. They're paranoid about the work they've been doing on the main female. They've been working real hard to get rewards, and this main female didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. And they've been working real hard against this privileged lady who didn't do anything. They're in a nightmare over this competition. Their hope was that they could cause a nightmare, but they weren't able to cause this privileged lady to be in despair. They couldn't put her in despair. They're in anxiety and worry because they couldn't put her in despair. There's a balancing, a negotiations, time management, weighing options, creativity. Community. Great fortune. Message of concern. Somebody is getting a message of concern. They're facing bad health when this marriage comes together. When that connection happens, it's like everything's, it's like, and it's coming up real soon. Distant horizons. Wish fulfillment. Somebody's in the courthouse for the work and the toil and labor that they were doing. They're very concerned. They're very concerned. They were working really hard against this wealthy man, and they're under adjudication now for what they trying to steal the pathway to this house. There's a message for this courtship. It's official, or there's an official person. And sudden wealth. This mature woman is a thief facing poverty. and imprisonment for what she did to these lovers. She's a false person. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. So those who have been chasing after love unions, these love unions that are not innocent, those who are not innocent are being disconnected from these love unions. Those chasers after love. Those chasers after love. They're getting disconnected if they're not seen as innocent. They can't partake in love anymore because love is for the innocent. Love is innocent and kind and true, and it doesn't set out to harm somebody. But these ones who are not innocent, they don't love. They don't have any love in them. They're all up in their thoughts because you're having an expectation. They're challenged because you're moving on to calmer waters, and this was prophesied. They're all up in their thoughts about you. This religious person, they're not important. They didn't remember you. They threw you to the wayside and they stripped all love out of you, and then they claimed that you never had it in you. But here you are. You're like, they stuck you somewhere. They buried you, man. They considered you gone. But then you rose from the ashes and you loved yourself. And it's like, whoa, what do you mean love doesn't exist in that person? They're freaking over there, taking scented baths and taking themselves out to dinner and buying themselves treats. I mean, they love themselves, So it's like this religious person is greedy, indulgent, materialistic, and stubborn. They're obsessed with wealth and they wanted the status of this person. They're not receiving forgiveness. They didn't give it. They drummed up false charges and then they punished somebody and they took their wealth and they lived high on the hog while saying there was no love in them. And it's like, wow. So they got a visitation by somebody who was high honor and they suffered a misfortune. They lost all their pentacles. Somebody of high honor paid a visit and took all their freaking pentacles. And they're overwhelmed. I'm not even kidding. Somebody of high honor paid a visit and took all their freaking pentacles. Robin Hood showed up. Damn it, that makes me want to sew my dress. So somebody's worried about their home. What they did in a family room could be backfiring. They're in fear and anxiety. Yeah, what they did in a family room is backfiring and they're worried about their home. What they called up, did they call on some entity or something within the family room and now their home is haunted and they're in fear and anxiety? Unsatisfied. They were unhappy with the way things were going. How could they be? They were living high on the hog. Hospitality. They were drinking, partying, sexing it up. Now they're overwhelmed, full of anxiety because there's a change. Somebody's taken away their pacifier. They want to escape. They're exhausted and they're struggling and they're overwhelmed by the work that they did against this main female in the family room. They failed to give this main female what they needed and they did a lot of work against her. They're worried about it. It's backfiring in the home. They did a long term they've been working against this person, thinking that they were going to get the reward of this privileged lady. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. They worked against this privileged lady, thinking that they were going to get the reward that belongs to this privileged lady. They were in competition. She didn't even know they existed. They're dishonest. They're in a nine of swords. They're in anxiety and depression over this competition because they couldn't put this privileged lady in despair. She didn't do anything. She's not even involved. She's like, yeah, there's some disturbances around here. What's going on? I don't know. Yeah, she's not guilty of anything. They couldn't make anything stick to her because she's not guilty. She didn't do anything. So they couldn't make it stick. She didn't do anything. She didn't even realize that these competitors existed. She's irreplaceable. This privileged lady is irreplaceable. They thought that they could replace her, be her. But she's irreplaceable. There's multiple priorities going on. Time management, creativity for the community. Somebody's broken about this. They're holding back. They sabotage themselves. Somebody feels that you have great love. They want to talk to you. They want to have a family with you. They're not fooled by these actors. They're not fooled by these actors. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Wedding. Lovers. The chaser is being disconnected because they're not innocent. Could be a dark priest. They're all up in their thoughts. They're thinking about you because you have expectations of moving on, of releasing this baggage, of letting it go. It was prophesied that you would be released from this binding. Yeah, they're all up in their thoughts. Thoughts is out here twice. They're all up in their thoughts about you because you're moving on. They're not important. They didn't remember you. They put you in the soil and considered you gone. Lived high on your spiritual fortune. Fancy, fancy golden threads. There's no love in them. They're not receiving forgiveness. This religious person, they're going on a journey. They're greedy, indulgent, materialistic, and stubborn, obsessed with wealth and status. They're corrupt. They having revenge remorse. Consistency. It could be that they're consistently greedy. There was no love in them. Consistently. So they received a high honor visitation and they've lost their 10 of Pentacles. They're overwhelmed. Somebody of high honor paid them a visitation, said, "Hand me your silver, sir," and cut the curtains down. I don't know, but it's like somebody's upset because whatever they did in a family room, it backfired, and they're in fear and anxiety regarding their home. Something's happening inside the home that's causing fear and anxiety. They're having premonitions. Gift. High honor. Gift. Visitation. Family room. Backfire. Fear and anxiety in the home. They're unsatisfied. Whatever they did, they're not satisfied with it. Conversation in the reverse. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want people to talk about it. They're overwhelmed. This Empress reversed, selfish, creative block, codependent. There's a change. They want to escape it. There's hospitality. Maybe they're hoping for some kind of hospitality. It's a surprise. Oh, hospitality. There could be a surprise lover. Maybe there's a lover who will bring a surprise. Nine of Wands reversed. Paranoia, fatigue over the labor that they did against this main female. They neglected her in a big way. She could be a younger woman. They worked really hard for a long time against this woman who did nothing. They were dishonest and they lied about this person. By lying, I ripped us apart, and ripped is right. Their lies were so atrocious. They literally ripped you apart, and they expected you to stay there, but you wound up loving yourself and rising from the ashes. You proved them all wrong. It's like, I do too love myself. There is love in me. I may not receive it from the world, but I can love myself. It's like weird. Yeah, these ones are dishonest in the room of the mind. In their own minds, they're telling lies and they're believing it. They're in a Nine of Swords. They're anxious. They're in a nightmare. They're trauma and despair over this competition. They weren't able to bring you despair. You're not guilty. You didn't do anything. They couldn't make it stick. They put all that effort into it and they couldn't make it stick. These false people are suffering a misfortune. They're in a Nine of Swords. Trauma and despair. Their house may have caught on fire. Their home. They're in fear and anxiety over this home. Something in the family room backfired. They're suffering a misfortune. They may have lost their home. Trying to put this privileged lady in despair. She wasn't guilty. It didn't stick. It backfired on them. They were trying to make this privileged lady homeless, and it backfired on them. They're suffering a misfortune. This privileged lady is irreplaceable. She's in a Two of Pentacles, weighing her options. Creativity is here with a community. Frivolity in the reverse. This community isn't having any fun. These scholars, this community of scholars, they're not having any fun. They're sad because this privileged lady is going to be made somebody's wife. They're sighing. They're in melancholy. These pleasure seekers need to go see the doctor because this sweetheart is coming into love with the Lord. Huh. Relationship with somebody else is not a requirement. Relationship with yourself is. If somebody comes in here and says you must marry this person, or this is you and this is the role you're going to fill, that's just somebody trying to write your story for you. And if it doesn't sit well with your heart, don't go for it. Okay? Because there's no rush. This is the beginning of the new cycle. Allow people to prove themselves. Observe them. Don't let them tell you what they are and throw you a few little crumbs of supporting evidence. Observe them for a while and make your own determinations as to what you feel about that energy. You can't have a Lord and a Lord wannabe coming in and saying, I'm the Lord, and then you choose the wrong one. And it's like, oh, no, the Lord isn't going to ask anything of you except patience. He will not push you. To make a decision that will affect the rest of your life without feeling comfortable with that. Anybody who would expect you to do that isn't looking out for your best interest. Especially when it's been you that you've had to rely on your whole entire life to pull you through, and now somebody wants to come in after all these decades of experience and say, this is how it is. And it's like, excuse me? Vow. This dark priest there's no vow with love. They are not innocent. They are being disconnected. They're chasing after love, but there's no vow here. They're being separated. They're all up in their thoughts, times two, because you have expectations of releasing that baggage and moving on to calmer waters. It was prophesied. They're a bunch of bullies. They're a bunch of bullies, and they're challenged because everybody knows that that's what they are. They're nothing more than a bully and a thief. And people are gossiping about it. They're not important. They tried to eliminate a bloodline. They have no love within them. They're not receiving forgiveness. They're religious. They're going on a journey. You are consistent. And you triumphed over this. They're materialistic, stubborn, and greedy, obsessed with wealth and status, and they having revenge remorse. They're in regret because they've been cut off. You triumphed over that, and now they want to reconcile. It's like, oh, they're feeling all overwhelmed because they got a visit by a high honor gift. And this high honor gift could be a star, somebody that had this light, this potent light within them. So they got a visitation by a high honor gift, and they lost all their pentacles, 10 of pentacles in the reverse. They're feeling overwhelmed. Let me see here, because look, they fell into a trap. There's no love. They set a trap, they fell into a trap. Robbery. The thief got robbed. The thief got robbed. Oh my gosh. And they're overwhelmed. Robin Hood came and took all the stuff. And they're having fear and anxiety in the home because whatever they did in the family room backfired. They're unsatisfied. They don't want people to gossip about this. They don't want to talk about it. They're having natural disasters in the home. Risky natural disasters that they have to survive. They're in fear and anxiety. Something's going on in the home. They're overwhelmed. They're codependent. They're selfish. There's a change here and they want to escape. This lover, there's going to be a surprise from some lover, some hospitality, some congratulations, some something or other. Oh, marriage. Somebody sees you as quality and they got marriage on the mind. I just think that's funny, Robin Hood. Somebody, a high honor visitor that is a gift, came and took these 10 of Pentacles away from this person, robbed the robber. And this robber is all exhausted from the work, the labor that they've been doing against this main female, who is a younger woman. They're not getting any help. It could be that they have no friends. Their friends turned on them. They're paranoid because whatever labor they've been doing, I mean, it could be backfiring. They're paranoid about whatever work they've been doing. They're not getting any help. Nobody's showing them any mercy. They worked for a long, long time against this woman, trying to steal her wealth. They wanted her reward. She didn't do a damn thing. They were dishonest in the mind and elsewhere. They cursed her. They cursed her. She didn't do anything. Whatever it looked like was a curse. It wasn't real. And this curse is being withdrawn. It's being rejected. This person is a gift. They cursed the gift and they tried to make it appear a certain way. So there is anxiety, worry, and fear, a 9 of Swords for these false people who are they're suffering a misfortune regarding this competition of dominate or whatever. Maybe they're being dominated right now. They weren't able to cause despair for this privileged lady. She is not guilty. She didn't do anything. She's irreplaceable. She's a creator. They're not able to protest. This community is not having any fun. She's all relaxed, this privileged lady. She's relaxed. She's getting good news. These people who came against her, they're wanting to compromise. They're all stressed out. They're all stressed out over you. These love unions. Love was saved. Love has been saved, and along with it, all of the wealth that goes with love. All of the reward that goes with love. These ones are facing loneliness, illness, injury, an accident. They ran out of time, and they're bound to their commitments. "49 minutes. I think we'll leave that one there. I hope this clarifies something for you that you may have already been intuitively aware of. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.